Authors Press.
Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. And on the line with us today, we have Mary Foster. We'll be discussing her fantastic book, Come Fly With Me. And I will say, Mary was brought to our network, People of Distinction, today by some of the best movers in the business, Authors Press Publishing. So if you have a book that you'd like moved, move it through Authors Press. You can find them at authorspress.com. And guys, listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Mary here on the line because her book, Come Fly With Me, is a memoir. So we're going to be following Mary on her journey and really all of the experiences that she has had in her life. Now, what is amazing about the book, and really what I love so much about it, and I know you all will love as well, is even though we're learning from her experience, one of the underlying messages and the underlying themes to the book is something that we can all relate to and all learn from. Now, it's all about never giving up. Guys, this is one of the oldest cliches in the book. It's something that we're taught constantly growing up. Life is filled with adversity. Life is filled with challenges. And it's how we perceive those challenges and those obstacles in our way that really makes us the people we become. Now, I don't know about you, but of course, this last year has really shown a lot. Given this COVID situation, we've all experienced a lot of challenges. Now, based upon the perception in which you've taken, this pandemic could have either been very negative or there were silver linings, little gems, if you will, that could have been found to be pulled from that. Now, one thing for me is I've had a lot more time to spend at home with family and with loved ones. That in and of itself is something that is truly a wonderful treasure to have discovered, because myself, like I'm sure so many of you, prior to the pandemic, we were constantly on that hamster wheel of life, running from one thing to the next with so many priorities, so much busy work to do to really keep us occupied. And things have really slowed down in this past year. And it has offered so many valuable lessons and so many wonderful memories that I wouldn't change for the world and I wouldn't trade in for the world. And keep that in mind when we're listening to Mary speak. So without further ado, let's bring her here on the line with us. Mary, first and foremost, thank you so much for being a guest with us today on People of Distinction. How are you?
My pleasure. I am doing fantastic. This COVID has made it lonely because I live alone and my dog does not speak English.
You know, I'm waiting for the day where someone comes out with a creation that'll help our dogs speak to us, right? Because I'm with you, Mary.
Yeah.
Listen, my dog, I absolutely love him, as adorable as he is, and all the ways that he chooses to communicate with me. He hasn't quite figured out how to speak English yet, so.
No.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Mary, as I stated, it is truly an honor. We are very much looking forward to this interview and very much looking forward to all of the information that you're going to be able to relay to our listening audience as well as to myself. So without further ado, Come Fly With Me. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, my book is mainly about all the hardships I've been through in my life. And my life has not been an easy life. I mean, I lost my mom when I was 12. And then I got married. He caused the accident. He stayed married to me 18 years. And and then tell me, oh, I can't put up with this stuff. And I said, what do I do now? And he says, nothing. I've only stayed married to you because I felt guilty for causing the accident. And all that time I had told myself he just blacked out because he had mononucleosis.
Mary, I'm so sorry to hear about the circumstances that you dealt with. Now, if you can, please articulate to our listening audience, which accident are you referring to?
I had an accident. It was 1 week before I graduated from high school, and it killed me. It was an automobile accident, and we got T-boned by a truck, and it was my side, and my head hit the window. I had a subdural hematoma, and it killed me. I was in a coma 5 months. Now, during these 5 months, they're telling my daddy she'll never walk again. She'll never talk again. She'll never have babies. I love proving doctors wrong. But then you have to remember, they're just practicing medicine.
Now, Mary, with regards to the accident, now I know that this is a popular question that gets asked to you a lot, and of course, your book, Come Fly With Me, revolves around your experiences, and of course, revolves around that accident. Articulate to our listening audience, Mary, if you had an opportunity and you had a time machine, were you able to go back in time and do it all over? In your opinion, would you change the accident?
Wow, Benji, it's really funny the way I feel, but the accident has made me who I am, and I like who I am. And I am a strong, independent person because I've had to be.
Absolutely. Mary, listen, your story is one of remarkable inspiration. Hearing your perception, and listen, between this interview and also in the pre-screening call, your overall outlook is something that is absolutely beautiful to see. And it's so, your perception is amazing. Your attitude and your personality is so uplifting that it really helps us look, and for me, just speaking from my own experience, helps me look at some of the circumstances in my life that I look at and, feel bad about, or I look at and feel anger towards. And then I stop and I examine and I think, and listen, I truly mean this when I say that you are an absolute embodiment of a person of distinction, because stacked with the cards that you've been dealt, and to still maintain such a positive outlook in such a hopeful outlook is something to be admired and really something to be commended. So thank you so much for doing this, Mary. Now, next question that I'd love to go into, sticking with that concept of inspiration, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, the inspiration for the book, I would get depressed and I sit down behind my computer and just put down everything that happened in that year, that hour, or that day. And it's really, the inspiration was when I came to get my book published. And that was because I had searched for 42 years because I had the book published in 2018. I had searched for 42 years for the reason God put me back on this earth to live. And I think I found it. I believe He put me here to help others in their walk in this life. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
Absolutely. Mary, listen, I'll be the first to tell you here on our network, you're doing a fantastic job. Again, this book is going to help so many people out there. Thank you so much, and we're very glad that you did. Guys, again, here in the line with Mary Foster, we're discussing her fantastic book, Come Fly With Me. Now, Mary, next question that I'd love to go into, of course, being that you are someone that has experienced such hardship in your life, but have been able to maintain such a positive outlook. And as you just stated, you feel that this book and the creation of this book is really your purpose here in life, and why God left you here to be able to be almost a beacon of light and a beacon of hope for others that find themselves in difficult situations. Mary, articulate to our listening audience any tips that you can offer, or any words of wisdom that you'll be able to offer to our listening audience, anybody that's out there that's listening in, that is experiencing their own challenges right now and isn't sure how to work through it, isn't sure how to get to the other side of the tunnel and finally get into a much more hopeful state. What words of wisdom can you offer?
All I can tell you is never give up, because if you give up, you can never accomplish anything.
As I stated when we first started this interview, never give up. There's a silver lining in every situation. All you have to do is shift your perception and see the purpose for it. And it may not be easy to do. No one's saying that this is something that is easily accomplished.
Oh, no, I know that. It helps when they keep a good attitude.
Absolutely. And of course, listen, as Mary stated, as I stated, it's not going to be an easy thing to accomplish. It's not an easy path to walk. But with practice and with consistent dedication, you eventually start to chip away. And again, the trials and tribulations that you experience and that you find yourself going through is going to be that beacon of hope for another individual. Because our stories are worth being told. And I'm so glad that we have Mary here on the line to talk about hers. And Mary, as we start to tie up this fantastic interview, what are you hoping to see people do with this book?
I didn't publish the book to make a whole lot of money. I published it just to let people know that they are not the only ones going through these hardships. And sure, mine hardships have been harder than most, but I just wanted to let people know they're not alone.
Guys, there you have it. You're not in this alone. And I know that it may seem like you are. But the resources are out there, the resources are available. And when we come together, as we love to discuss here at People of Distinction, it's all about the connectivity amongst our human family. It's amazing what we can accomplish when we start to unite. So guys, listen, you know what you have to do. Mary has really set it all up for us. All you have to do now is pick up her fantastic book, Come Fly With Me, by Mary Foster. You surely will not be disappointed. Let's take this opportunity. Let's grow. Let's develop. Let's educate ourselves. Let's learn from each other's stories. And through that, we'll be able to build our own narrative together. Mary, this has been an absolute blessing. Thank you so much for being a guest with us today on People of Distinction.
I want to thank you and all your listeners because it's been a pleasure. It's even a bigger pleasure than writing my book.